2:21. This crazy thing. There we go. All right. Uja, do it for tuning in. Sound. Oops. Okay. All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and start our session for today for February 22nd, 2022 at 2:22. And we're here today in honor of the Pluto transit with the Cosmic Chimes and Chanting session. I'm going to start with this beautiful crystal bowl that's tuned to the root chakra. Let me change the, okay, let's change it to 5. This transmission. Okay, is that working? Guess it's just change. Okay, that one seems to be better. Okay. All right, so let me take off these headphones. We're going to start with some ohms, and you can tune in if you like. I'm just chanting Om for grounding. And when we open up the sessions, we go counterclockwise. And then if I remember at the end, we go clockwise. We are to open it up. It's still ringing. Okay. It's still ringing, we just can't hear it anymore. All right. So welcome to today's edition of Cosmic Chimes and Chanting, where we have these chimes from acutonics that are tuned to the different planets. And then there's they also correspond to the different constellations. And here at KemeTones Cosmic Sound Healing, each one of these chimes represents a nectar root, one of the nectar root. And so in this transmission, we're going to go over a little bit about what other people have said about this transit, and then my take on the transit. We'll have the Cosmic Chimes and Chanting session. And if there's time, I also have the corresponding tuning forks. and we'll do a little self-care. And when I do the self-care sessions on myself, since energy doesn't know the difference between time or space, it's as if I'm giving you the self-care. I'm giving you a sound healing session. So you will receive the benefits even though you're not in the space here with me. So I have the same tuning forks here that correspond to the chimes up above. So my name is Tchiya Amet, AmetElMaat, and I'm a enchantress, chantress, cosmic sound healer, musician, singing priestess, student of ancient Kemet wisdom. Hey Patrick, I'm glad you're the one that suggested I do something about Pluto a few weeks ago, and I'm glad I'm able to do something. And let's see what else. Yeah, and if you're interested in traditional chants, visit my music page at YouTube, Tchiya Amet, and you'll find all the Ancient African Adorations videos and then the upcoming live streams. So I'm alternating between the astrology, which is on the KemeTones page, and the Ancient African Adorations is on the Tchiya Amet page. There might be some of my reggae videos there as well. I took them down because they really weren't the best quality, and I'm hoping to get back to reggae very soon. In the meantime, we're here to talk about Pluto. So like I said, I'm just going to read some information from some of the other websites. And thank you, Patrick. And I hope that you're able to check out the replay if you're getting ready to take off. But I really appreciate you making the suggestion. Okay, so I'm just going to have the entire screen window. Okay. So that should work. Okay. All right. So, and then I've also prepared a blog post at the lightbeingwellness.com website where you'll find these videos and then some more information. So the first thing I want to talk about is, like in the announcement, the date of the Pluto transit into Capricorn, sidereal Capricorn, is not today, 2/22/2022. Today, Pluto is still in sidereal Sagittarius. However, we're always in the shadow, and if you're following the Western astrology, then this will be right on time for you too. So that's the first thing. And then the second thing is this is the Pluto return of the United States of America. So when the United States of America began its program of colonization and enslavement and destruction of indigenous culture on Turtle Island, it was born on July 4th, 1776. And at that time, Pluto was in the sign of Capricorn. I didn't check. I checked. If you saw the post that I made, it in the sidereal system, it was indeed in Capricorn on July 4th, 1776. So this website is bustle.com, and it has information on how to prepare for the Pluto return in the United States. Pluto is one of the far outlying planets, and so its impact on life on Earth is not individual. It's generational, and it's also institutional. So it affects institutions, not just individuals, basically is what I'm trying to say. And so we may not really feel the effect in our personal life. However, we will feel the effect in the, the systems that we're involved in, the institutions. For instance, we live in America, so America will be affected by this transit, and so we will be affected. And they're mostly talking about the big changes that are going to come politically and economically and different institutions. So this is bustle.com. Unlike a Mercury retrograde, a transit that specifically affects travel, communications, and technology A Pluto return is a change that happens on a public rather than individual level. According to astrologers, while this transit will affect everyone, you'll notice these shifts taking place primarily in systems and institutions. Prepare for external government systems or environment to undergo major shifts and changes. Okay. The USA's Pluto return doesn't necessarily spell destruction, but rather a rebirth, especially when taken in context with the Age of Aquarius emphasis on humanitarianism and community. It is a time for ending, specifically ending problematic systems and planting new seeds for the future. From wellandgood.com, this is an article about Pluto transits in our individual lives, on how we'll feel it on a personal level. And as I posted in the announcement in the HeruScopes system and KemeTones, Pluto corresponds to Asar, the life of the soul, the life of Asar. And so we're dealing with the soul of the United States transformation. What's going to be happening at that level, the deep level, not just institutions falling or, like the new currency, but we're looking at a deep healing of the soul of this nation. It's really a corporation. So it says, while Pluto is traveling and also retrograde, it is going retrograde April 30th. Pluto will be going retrograde on April 30th. Because Pluto is in Capricorn, we need to look at the infrastructure of our everyday life. Ask yourself, is my lifestyle healthy for my mental wellness? Do I need to create a better routine that incorporates my personal well-being, says astrologer Corinna Chrysler. This meaning of Pluto retrograde being over. Oh, they're talking about Pluto retrograde. Pluto retrograde focuses on taking control of your life and well-being and resolving to change habits that you've noticed don't serve you from the past. Let's see. Okay, so we're dealing with the mental wellness of the United States and what we can do to bring that about. What can we do? We can get more into our healing and our liberation and our freedom, all the things that we want to see happen in the country. We need to be bringing those changes about in our lives. We want to see justice in this nation. We need to see justice in our own life. And in the African Kemetic perspective, justice is a little bit different than when we think of the judicial system. Justice has to do with our REU and our heart and the past life, the past actions of the soul that we're dealing with. Remember, we're dealing with the United States. So all of that has to come up and be cleansed. It's not just like an election or passing a new bill or a law or some mandate. We're talking about transformation from the soul of this nation. So when you're doing your work and your intentions and your prayers, be sure to include that, because we're talking about reparations. We're talking about clean water on the so-called reservations. Maybe we're talking about restoring the power to the native people of this land. And that would include acknowledging the Black native ancestors of this land. I'm talking about those kind of changes, because we want to focus on what we want, not how bad things are, or continually talking about how bad things are. We want to think about police brutality, then we want to think about the karma of the police and that coming up to be cleansed, because it's not going to change until we deal with it from an energetic, spiritual level. Let's see. Old patterns and ways of thinking are also called into question. This planet focuses on the death-life cycle. That's why the planet urges us to ditch whatever is not working and work towards cultivating change in our lives to benefit ourselves and our forward momentum. That's where I would say, we've participated in the election system for how many centuries now? And things really haven't changed. Like even when Obama was elected, things didn't really change, not at the soul level. I mean, you see plenty of multiracial couples on TV now, but that hasn't really made things better. So we don't want just superficial change. We want deep change. Because when we do the chimes, we're setting the intention for the transmission, and you all are writing out your intentions for this transit, whether it starts today. Not right now, Sybil. We should have gone out earlier. Can't take you right now. You're gonna have to wait. Make out your list of intentions for the Pluto transit, and like I said, we all have a part to play in this game. The next article, synchronistically, is called Pluto Transits, the Game Changer. And this is from a website, Astrolada. Okay. Important Pluto transits happen every once or twice in a lifetime. Speaking of which, a Pluto transit lasts 248 years. So this is the first Pluto transit that America has experienced since its birth. Humans don't usually get to experience this, not these days. When Pluto comes around for about 2 years, everything inside and outside our lives totally changes. By the end of the period, the transformation is so profound, the person is barely recognizable, so is his environment. Remember, we're thinking about the country, the nation, or the corporation. It would be great to have such a huge change during this transit that we don't even recognize it. Let's see here. Pluto is the millionaire breaker and maker transit. I have seen a few millionaires lose their fortune during Pluto transit, only to rebuild it even more successfully within the same transit. I've seen poor people make such a huge change in their consciousness and life, which takes them to a totally new vibrational level, and they finally have the material breakthrough they have been dreaming of. I have seen addicts considered a lost cause be able to rid themselves of lifelong addictions, like addiction to slavery and violence, and become pillars of strength for others. I have seen greedy and cruel have their ego crushed, their power stripped away, only to emerge meeker and more humane, with healthier goals in life. I've seen victims of abuse finally overcome their consciousness of victimhood and find inner strength. I've seen the hopeless and downtrodden become a powerhouse of achievement. The inner transformation Pluto brings is the jump in consciousness, which generates a new level of manifestation. All right, that sounds great. And here we go. Transiting Pluto brings intensity and focus to our lives. Pluto breaks through illusions in search of the utter truth. These are not Saturn truths where we see things for what they are in a mundane or material sense. Pluto probes much deeper, shining light on our darkness. Transiting Pluto offers us the chance to evolve and to rebirth. Pluto acts to strip away what is unnecessary or superficial in our lives. Pluto wants deep experience of the transformational kind. Things that are not working for us, whether they are thought processes or lifestyles, undergo a transformation. Pluto transits bring about rebirths of sorts in the areas of life affected. Pluto transits are about letting go of things that are holding us back from deep and meaningful experiences. All right, well, that is there's just more of the same. I'm trying to find the one that talks about 200. Well, I already said 248 years, so okay. I already read this one. Pluto will expose the shadow side of this country, the negative patterns that uphold racial and economic disparities. Narayana Montufar, astrologer. Given that any planets, this is again from Well and Good, given that any planet's return tends to shed new light on that planet's particular themes, We can expect this Pluto return for the United States to surface the nation's most deeply hidden corruption or agendas, or what Narayana Montufar, author of Moon Signs, calls its dirty laundry. Much of what bubbles up will likely have ties to money or power, as Pluto resides in the second house of resources in the United States natal chart. All right, getting pumped up about this. How to lead up to the United States Pluto return may foreshadow what's to come. In essentially mucking up the nationwide status quo, the country's Pluto return puts power abusers on the blast, airs our deepest grievances, and surfaces everything that needs to be dropped or destroyed in order to make way for a new era. How about focusing on this whole scamdemic, plandemic? Like, how about exposing all of that and just putting that in the past so it's not even an issue in the future? Let's see. We witness this collective awakening of people and a grouping together to address these power imbalances. Vanessa Hardy, astrologer. How to embrace the energy of this transformative Pluto return. With long-established rules of order being shaken and stirred on a social level, societal level, this year could be just as ripe for individual evolution too. Perhaps the clearest sign of that impulse is the Great Resignation, or the phenomenon of folks leaving their jobs en masse in search of work or a workplace that better aligns with their values or priorities. For example, we can't prevent war on our own, but we can be aware of how the military-industrial complex drives the economy. And we can't prevent a stock market crash, but we can start addressing our relationship to money and resources, says Hardy. The idea is to consider how you can personally fit into this multi-year Pluto return story while the planet continues to trudge its way through no-nonsense Capricorn. All right. I'm getting pumped up. Okay, well, there's a few more. I'll save those for when I take a break. All right, so let's get going with the transmission. So we have, let's see, I have the tones for the Earth Day, Earth in one day, Ta Earth. I have the tone for the Zodiac, Anpu, the opener of the waves. Let's spread these out a little bit. I have the tone for Sidereal Sagittarius, which is ruled by Jupiter, Asar Moon. Oh, Chrome has lost permission to capture your screen. Okay, sorry about that. Yes, 2022 does feel different. It is good. Okay, well, I'm sorry I wasn't able to share my screen. I'm going to have to look into that. Okay, and then here we have the tone for Sidereal Capricorn, which is ruled by Saturn. And this is also Geb. And here's Pluto, Asar, transformation. So let me go back. Asar Moon, Sagittarius is traveling, expansion of consciousness, wisdom. Geb is, and Sidereal Capricorn is structure, order, stability, institutions. All this is being purified. Pluto, Asar, the soul, the transformation between life and death, the transition and rebirth into eternity. So we're giving birth to something that we want to last. We don't want it to be like a roller coaster and now it's good and positive and then it's bad. We want to build something that is going to last into eternity. And then I have the tone for the Earth in 1 year, the Earth orbit around the Sun, the Om tone. Again, that's Geb. So I have, these are Earth tones. And then Geb is Earth. Asar Amun is expansion, and Asar is transformation. So I'm just going to play the chimes and chant, and we'll include some of the intentions that we just learned about. Asar Nuk Pu Asar Asar Nuk Pu Asar Asar do again. Asar Nuk Pu Asar Nuk Pu Asar Nuk Pu Asar transiting into equity, equanimity, restorative justice, fall upon the land. Purification, heart and soul of this nation, raising the vibration, destiny manifestation. Open the way to a brighter day, illuminated with the light of truth. Open the way, God, open the way. This journey is not easy. It is simple. Truth and honesty. True balance of power in every hour. Letting go of racism. Letting go of colonization. Walking away from Indian reservations. Walking away from church and prison plantations. The end of wicked institutions of the 1%. The elimination of multinational corporations with their legalized enslavement of the innocent population. Transformation of society and nation. The death of ignorance and rebirth into enlightenment. A state of enlightenment. Rebirth into a nation of enlightenment. Enlightened nation of states of high vibration across the land. Do us all, do again. Nuk Pu Asar, Nuk Pu Asar, Nuk Pu Asar, Nuk Pu Asar, Nuk Pu Asar. All right, that was an effort. I really enjoyed that. Uh-oh. What happened to Twitter? I don't know. Must have crashed. Let's try it again. It's like they missed that whole thing, though. All right, Twitter. Well, I'm so sorry about that. It looks like the broadcast went away. I'm not sure when it went away. I was out in outer space. So, all right. Well, let's get on with the last two readings I had. Last few readings. The U.S. is having its Pluto Return, astrology's test of massive reckoning. Pluto is heading back to its placement during this founding of the United States, leading to a new beginning or a final end. Oh yeah, I didn't really like this one. We talked a lot about. Here we go. As the farthest planet from, this is from nylon.com. As the farthest planet from the Earth, Pluto moves slower. The farthest planet from the Sun, Pluto moves slower than the rest of the pantheon, making its impact generational. Millennials with Pluto and Scorpio must reconcile with power and gaslighting. While Gen Z with Pluto and Sagittarius must reconcile idealism with reality. I'm a boomer. I have Pluto. No, wait. Oh, I don't know. I was thinking of Saturn. I get them mixed up. Okay. I'm going to have to find out what my generation has. The last time Pluto was in Capricorn, 225 years ago, a different Declaration of Independence was brought to the public, marked as July 4th, 1776. In declaring the sovereignty of the American colonies from Great Britain, the founding fathers believed themselves to be in pursuit of freedom. Capricorn is all about the attainment and retention of power. With Pluto flipping the script, the underdogs often become the overlords. In February 2022 or March 2023, Pluto will actually, according to NASA, the sidereal system, Pluto enters into Capricorn at 2023. I did not get to see when it hits 27 degrees 33 minutes, because that's what it was when at the time of the declaration. So I have to look that up. Okay. In February 2022, or whenever it is, Pluto will complete its first revolution in the chart of the United States of America. The narrative of this country is inverting, leading to a new beginning or a final end. What does it mean for a country to undergo a Pluto return? For any change to come, the planet of the underworld, the netherworld, right? The netters, must bring everything hidden to the surface. That's Asar. The last decade has been one of nonstop revelations, from Rose McGowan, Christine Blasey Ford, Melania Brown, I don't know who these are, and the witnesses to unjust arrests, imprisonments, and murders of innocent Black and trans people all over the country. A week after Britney Spears' testimony, Bill Cosby got a release. Palestine isn't free. Every violation by the Capricorn system above us, capitalism, enslavement, surveillance, authoritarianism, policing, is now unleashed in a holographic, phantasmagoric display. It's all present again. In the chart of a person or a nation, Pluto is never just a destroyer. Power is unlocked, abused, taken, and ultimately relinquished. So we shouldn't just focus on the destruction of this system. We need to focus on what we want it to be when it, when it is building again. Like from the Natarian myth, after all of that happened to Asar and his body was chopped up into pieces and they couldn't find all the pieces, the soul is still able to live in eternity. And so that's what I'm focusing on, is not the version of the future that they put in the movies with the pandemic. We're just, or what's that other one? A Handmaid's Tale, where we just automatically get locked into that system. I'm choosing to believe or assume or intend that the light workers and the awakened conscious humans and light beings, indigenous people, Black Africans, are able to unite and resist this order it's not order, because it's not in alignment with Ma'at. So it's not Ma'atian order anyway. It may be their version of order. We're going to stand for Ma'atian order. So that's what we want to think about during this Pluto transit. Oh, it says here that the United States was born with the moon in Aquarius. So I have to look into that. What is it sidereally? As were Spears and Princess Diana. Where Capricorn maintains the status quo, Aquarius looks forward, elevating the voices of life to establish a new collective framework. I see. So I'm already in Aquarius. We have to go through this whole Capricorn thing. Is this about Pluto return? Well, of course it is. Yes, it is. It is about Pluto return from a different perspective, using sound and Natarian wisdom and astrology wisdom. Let's see, where was I? Cycling through birth and death. Oh, wait. Aquarius looks forward, elevating the voices of the young to establish a new collective framework. Its moon, cycling through birth and death, subtly reflects the light of the moment and imagines a potential future to come. Some originals are not understood until the times catch up to them. Lady Di paid dearly for her individuality at the hands of the media and monarchy. Spears was punished for defying the arbitrary laws of a post 9/11 moralistic terrorist state. Decades later, Diana's legacy has come to a climatic realization, and Spears has finally broken the silence. Okay, let's see. Anything else here? No, right? This is from The Shadow in the Mirror, the Pluto Return of the United States. The mainstream is starting to catch wind about an exquisitely rare astrological transit, the Pluto Return. Yes, they are rare. Once every 248 years, the United States is experiencing its first Pluto return. What is a Pluto return? This is from CatherineUrbanAstrology.com. A Pluto return occurs when transiting Pluto returns to the same zodiac sign and degree as it holds within the natal chart. With an orbital period of 248 years, Pluto returns every 2.5 centuries. The United States natal Pluto occupies 27 degrees 32 minutes, Capricorn. We will experience our exact degree-based return 3 times in 2022. February 20th, I've seen February 22nd, July 11th, and December 28th. And if you're following me, the sidereal calendar says it doesn't enter into Capricorn until 2023. And I've got to do some more research to find out when it actually is at 27 degrees 32 minutes. However, I'd argue that we are already deeply steeped in the Pluto return and that we've been witnessing a slow version of the American dream now, the slow erosion of the American dream now for decades. I would agree with that. It's just, I hadn't really thought about it before. It was just very comforting to know that it's destined to fall. It's not like when is it going to fall, or what do we have to do, or we need to march, we need to protest, we need to do this, we need to do that, we need to do this. It's destined to fall, and it's falling. So that should give us hope and encouragement to just keep doing what we're doing to give birth to the light. The United States, Pluto entered its third quarter phase, closing square in 1982. From the data from the late degrees of Libra, at this exact moment, Saturn also conjoined Pluto, a cycle which deals with the power structures, authority, and control. This was the same year that President Reagan implemented trickle-down economics. Reagan proposed that by giving huge tax cuts to corporations, the funds would trickle down and benefit workers and families. So you see, like, the changes that they talk about, they weren't changes to help people. They weren't positive changes. They were changes to help them. And since the people were blind and infatuated with the American dream, they just trusted the government. But this time around, we know better, we know different, and we're going to give birth to these changes because of our awareness and our consciousness. It's a little bigger. Ooh, okay. Quite the opposite. Corporate bigwigs pocketed the cash, the rich got richer, and the middle class completely deteriorated along with the American dream. As I write this article, billionaires are having their own little space race while the rest of the planet literally burns. As the third quarter of any cycle carries within it the cracks of eventual breakdown, looking back to this time, we can clearly see that some of the core issues we face now at the Pluto return stem back to this period. All right. And again, they talk about the Pluto first returning to Capricorn in 2008 with the first Black president. However, it didn't really bring changes for Black people. And if you're going to stick to this astrology, sidereal astrology, that's because that wasn't when Pluto visited sidereal Capricorn. That won't be until 2023 or much later, because if, according to this chart, this Western system, 2008 is when Pluto entered Capricorn, and it didn't reach 27 degrees 33 minutes until 2022. So what's that? 14 years. So 14 years from 2023 is when, according to this ideal chart, we will see changes that lead to the vision that we have. Up until then, they'll just be superficial changes, because that's how I'm interpreting all this. All right, now we're going to go back to some more sound healing. Uja. Yep. Yeah, right. The fulfillment of Ma'at and perfection. And it's destined to happen. It's not because we have to vote or, we don't have the right president, because any of the presidents are going to be corrupt. Anything that happens within the system is there to perpetuate the system. They're not going to put in anything that's actually going to bring about these changes. That's the real issue. That's what's going to bring about the change, is when enough people wake up to that fact. That's when we'll see these changes. Until then, it's to put more, like protest puts more money into the system, because you got to buy gas, you got to buy paper plates, you got to, travel, take buses. It all supports the system. Everything that you can think of actually supports the system. So we have to think outside of the box. Focus on what we want. We don't need to focus on dismantling the system. We need to focus on what we want, because the dismantling of the system is evident. Okay, so now I'm going to do chimes and chants with just Pluto and Saturn. Because even though, according to this system, Pluto is still in Sagittarius. What is Sagittarius? Sagittarius is traveling towards Capricorn. So we're just going to focus on that right now. Oh, you know what? I'm going to add this we have Geb on both sides. So it's balanced and grounding. We don't want these changes to like flip out, because it might just be really intense. Like the pandemic has been intense. Some people have lost their minds, because things aren't going to go back to the way they were. So we need to focus on the way we want it to be. So that's what I want you to focus on, meditate on during this segment of the program. Do Asar, do again. Let's spread them out a little bit. Do Asar, do again. Nuk Pu Asar, Nuk Pu again. Nuk Pu Asar, Nuk Pu again. And you can do call and response and just sing along if you choose. I know I do a lot of improv, so can you. Do Asar, do Asar, do again, do again. Nuk Pu Asar, Nuk Pu Asar, Nuk Pu again, Nuk Pu again. So I'm saying it twice, so when I say it the second time, then you would just repeat after me. Do Asar, do again. Do Asar, do again, do again. Nuk Pu Asar, Nuk Pu again. Nuk Pu Asar, Nuk Pu again. Do Asar, do again. Do Asar, do again. Nuk Pu Asar, Nuk Pu again. Nuk Pu Asar, Nuk Pu again. Babylon is falling. Heart is calling. Babylon is falling. Heart is calling. Babylon is falling. Marching order is calling. Babylon is falling. Marching order is calling. Do Asar, do again. Do Asar, do again. Nuk Pu Asar, Nuk Pu again. Nuk Pu Asar, Nuk Pu again. The system is falling. Purification is calling. System is falling. Purification is calling. System is falling. Purification is calling. Pu Asar Nuk Pu Nuk Pu Asar Nuk Pu Nuk Pu Asar Nuk Pu Nuk Pu Asar Nuk Pu All formations are changing. All institutions are rearranging. All corporations are dying. Collective cooperation is rising. Multinational corporations are dying. Collective cooperation is rising. Replacing systems here to destroy us. With Maatian order that glorifies all creation. Nuk Pu Asar Nuk Pu Nuk Pu Asar Nuk Pu Do Asar Do again. Do Asar Do again. Do Asar Do again. Never. Transmission of hope, because we are happy the system is falling. We're happy these structures are destroying from within. We're grateful that they're going to fall apart. We're grateful that they're tried that stupid pandemic, scamdemic, and it didn't work. And now everybody can see how wicked and corrupt the system is. And while everything falls apart, we're going to remain grounded, remain seated on our inner throne, and not move. We're going to stand strong as the soul of Asar, Pluto, with goddess Aset and Nebuchadnezzar. They got our back. This is not a problem. And no matter how long it takes, we know that it's destined. It's destined. It's in the stars. It's in the chart. And we don't have to worry about it anymore. Like, no matter what they throw at us, it's not going to work. Not shade. All right. My legs. Been sitting for a while. Okay. All right. So now we're going to transition into the little self-care segment of the program. I've got the tuning forks here that are aligned with the same ones that we used during the chanting. And see if I can fit. And the purpose of this section of the program is to align our purpose, which is at the creativity chakra, the Tek Arit, with our desires, the Kepra Arit, and our thoughts, the Mer Arit. And these are the three treasures in Chinese astrology, Chinese medicine. So we've got Tek, Kepra, Mer. I'm going to be focusing on those so that our purpose is to remain strong during the fall and remain vigilant with our visioning and intentions for what we want to see arise. And I'm going to be really honest with you. This session has helped me so much because I did not see it this way before. I'm kind of in shock right now. See, I think I have a weird filter there. Okay. So I'm just really grateful for this session. So I'm going to start with grounding. And this is not just for you watching the call or transmission. This is for the United States of America. Right now, it's going to go from Triple K America to Turtle Island. Like, why not? Go big. Go big or go home. Okay, so I'm not sure which one I'm going to use, but so I'm just going to start with grounding to highlight our purpose with our desires and our thoughts, connect them. So you could do this at home if you don't have tuning forks with your crystals or your just chant. Like, here we go. Tchiya Amet. Tchiya Amet. And I just happen to have some crystals here. I got to pull them out. Some crystals. I just got these beautiful little set of chakra crystals. It's got, ones for each of the chakras. If you can see them there. Twitter. And YouTube, some of the chakra stones. So we've got there's the one for tech, the soul, the creativity chakra, the one for Capricorn, the heart chakra, and myrrh for the first eye. So we can just put those out. And you can't see them, but I have these out here. So, but you could use those. You could just put them on the chakra. Just hold them. Right now, we're tuning up to the planet, the Pluto transit, whether it's today or 14 years from March 1st, 2023. If we're still in Sagittarius, we are heading towards this change. So that's how we're looking at it. Right. So then we're going to go to IsnPluto to open the way. Oops. Put it open the way, and got the Earth. We're going to open the way for this Pluto transit planetarily, individually, nationally, institutionally. We're going to open the way for these changes, and even if when it gets really traumatic and crazy, we're going to remain calm and steadfast like Asar, and remain focused on what we want to manifest. We're going to stay focused on our intentions and our manifestations. No matter what happens, and it doesn't look like it right now. And I'm thinking of myself because I'm dealing with a lot of Capricorn stuff. And I just can't let it get to us. Tchiya Amet. Tchiya Amet. I remember time doesn't know the difference between, energy doesn't know the difference between time and space. So I'm doing the sound healing session on myself, and you're also benefiting from it. And then it's for the United States. So, yeah. All right. Now we're going to move to Pluto. It must have fallen down. So I'm going to do Pluto in Sagittarius and then Pluto in Capricorn. Because this is, in this system, we're still in Sagittarius. And so the intention is that we're heading towards this period of enlightenment and transformation. We want our purpose to be in alignment. We want our desires and our thoughts to be in alignment. high, mid, and low range frequencies. Tech, Kepra, Mer. Those are the Kemetic names for the creativity chakra, heart chakra, and first eye chakra. And then we're going to do Capricorn. Once again, I just want to, I'm so grateful for this transmission. It's really helping me see things a little bit more clearly. And then the middle frequencies, mid-range, Saturn and Pluto, Geb and Asar. So we stay grounded during the fall and the fall and the I'm gonna say destruction, dismantling of every wicked, evil, deceptive, violent, abusive, racist, lying, murdering, thieving institution and corporation. Wow, that would be so awesome. All right, so now we're going to have the high frequency. Manifest our intentions for this nation, for the people. And we're not seeking justice from the system. We're seeking Ma'at to be restored. There's a big difference. Because usually justice in this system leaves us just doesn't feel like anything's happened. And it usually ends up benefiting them anyway. So we want justice that is Ma'at justice, not just U.S. justice. We know what that's like. Pluto and Sagittarius. Sidereal Sagittarius. So we have no obstructions to manifesting our intentions and visions and expansion in consciousness. The death of this system, of the America KKK system, and the rebirth of an enlightened nation, turtle nation. And during this time of the dismantling of these wicked corporations, we remain vigilant, peaceful, in alignment, true ourselves, fearless, courageous, spiritual strength. While all this stuff is falling, we're inside visualizing what it's going to be like. So we should make our vision boards. Because after Pluto is in Capricorn, what's next? Aquarius, right? And that is the same sign as the moon of the United States. So that'll be really harmonious. Maybe that's the Age of Aquarius song. Right, and I'll close with some grounding. All right, they say these transits last 248 years, so it will behoove us to really work on this. Since we're going to be here, I plan to be here for another 50 years, so it just really brought me a lot of peace and understanding. So I'm really grateful again for this transmission, and thanks to those of you who were on the call. Pluto cycle reading. Yeah, there was several websites that I was reading from, and I will be posting them on the blog post that I made, and I'll post the link to the blog post here on the um, description once I finish it. Thank you so much, Patrick, for inspiring me to do this, and that's all I have for today. There's another comment. Pluto Return, intense day. Sorry, Twitter didn't work out. The live stream. I'm gonna get one of those live stream accounts where you can stream to a bunch of different places at once without having like 3 different devices. So that'll be next. All right, so let's close out with some more Om. And so we opened it up by going counterclockwise. So now we're going to go clockwise to seal in these positive vibrations. Om Asar. So I don't like to make promises, but I promise I will. This is the first blog post I've done in a long time, and I'm going to keep it going. I don't even know how this one, it just came about as a miracle. That's all I can say. And I'll post the links that I referenced. And then I think there's a way to post blog posts to people who subscribe to me on YouTube. So I'm going to try that as well. And let's see, the next Cosmic Chimes and Chanting session will be for the new moon. This one corresponded to the third quarter moon. I think I told you I'm going to start doing self-care sessions at the first and third quarter moon. So this was that. And the next Ancient African Adoration session is September 26th. I'm still trying to find the best time. It seems that 10 is a good 10 a.m. is a good time. I'm not really sure. If you have any suggestions, I would appreciate it. I was doing it at 5 a.m., which works for me, but then I realized it doesn't work for people on the West Coast. So I'm not really sure. But the blog post will be at lightbeingwellness.com/Pluto Transit. There is a blog post there now. Now I'm going to go and add these links from the references. Okay, so I really appreciate you being here. Thank you so much, Dua, and I feel so much better about a lot of things because it's destined to happen. I felt like I have to do something, and I don't. Just have to be. All right, Dua, Hotep. Oh, Twitter, looks like you found me again. I'm so sorry that it disappeared. You can watch the full transmission on YouTube, and please do, because it was some beautiful music. So I'll post a link to the replay on Twitter. Okay, do a Hotep. Search for old comments. You always tell me to scroll for old comments, but I don't see them. Okay, well, anyway. You can, now somebody else joined. Anyway, Twitter, I'm sorry that the Twitter broadcast disappeared for a little while. You can watch the full replay at YouTube. Do a Hotep. Do a Hotep. Thank you so much for being here. Your presence is a gift to me. X view stats edit. Man, I don't know. I'll figure it out one of these days. Hotep.